Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you. So, in today's lecture, we will see next chapter, which is based on functions. So, what are the functions? What types of functions? What are the parts or elements of the functions in C language? We will see in this lecture. So, first I will share the screen. Okay. After that, open our dev C++ IDE. Then create new source code file. Great. So here I have write some theoretical aspects first. So first is what is function? Okay. So functions are nothing but the part of our program. Suppose your program having 100 lines of code and we divide that program into 10 lines and separately, which is not dependent on each other, and their functions, relative functions are also different. Okay, then that type of subprogram is called the function. So basically, what is the use of function? So use of function, main use of function is to reduce code reusability. That is code reusability. Okay, so or to reduce code redundancy. Code redundancy. What is meaning redundancy? Means it is also called as repetitions. Okay, so to reduce the code redundancy or repetitions, for example, same printf function, we have required lots of time to display message on the console. So if that build function is not built-in function, then we have to write their code each and every time. Okay, but it is not possible. Okay, or it is redundancy code is there. Okay, similar way, this is the first use of the function. So to remove or to reduce the redundancy or repetition of the code. Second, to reuse the code. Second use is to reuse the code. So if we have built some function, for example, printf, scanf, then we don't write their code again and again. We just call that function. Okay, so let's find what are the different types of functions. Different types of functions. So based on some criteria, there are number of different types of functions exist. So first, based on built-in or user defined. So user defined or based on built-in, that is who created the functions. Okay, either it is given to your developer of the C language or you have to create your own user defined functions. So based on that, built-in function, built-in function. So what is the built-in functions? For example, we know printf is a built-in function. Great. Then scanf is a built-in function. Great. Then getS, puts. Okay. So all these are built-in functions and available in some particular library, or it is also called as header file. So there are number of functions which are already given to you by your developer. So these functions are called as the built-in function or predefined functions. Great. Next, so this is first type. Then second, that is user defined functions. So user defined functions are that functions which is not available in your library. We have to create our own functions as per the user's requirement. For example, if user want to swap two values which is provided, so for that we have to create our own function called as swap. So swap is a user defined function. Also guys, main is a function which is user defined, because inside the main function we have to write the code as per the user's requirement. That's why main function is not built-in function. Main function is a user defined function. Note that point. So like that it is seen. So as per the user's requirement we have to create our own functions, and these functions are called as user defined functions. While some functions are already given to you, their definitions are already written. Okay, so these functions are called as built-in functions or predefined functions. Okay, so printf, scanf, getf, putf, all these are the built-in functions. Great. Next, second type of function based on how to pass values to a function. So how to pass values to a function, based on that functions are divided into two types. One is call by value. Second is a call by reference. Call by value, here we have to pass actual value to that function, and in call by reference we have to pass address of that particular variable. So we will see that types later on. Just you have to note down that there are the two types of function exist in C language, which is based on how to pass the values to the function, how we can provide the values to the function. Okay, we will see that. Just note down the types. Great. So next type is based on functions argument and return type. So based on functions arguments and return type, functions are further divided into four different types based on the arguments and return types. Arguments are also called as parameters. Parameters. Great. So based on the arguments and return type, functions are divided into four different types, that are with argument, with return type is the first one. Second, with argument without return type. Okay. Third one is without argument with return type. And last one is without argument without return type. Okay. So based on the functions argument list and the return type, which value function return to the called function or caller function, then based on that functions are divided into four different types: with return type, with argument without return type, without argument with return type, without argument without return type. So these are the four different types. We will see all these types in detail with suitable examples. Okay. Next type of function based on the calling type. So calling on the basis of calling, functions are divided into two types: caller function, and second type is called as called function. Okay. So if in the main function we have write printf function, so main function is a caller function. Main function is a caller function, and which function is called by the main function? Printf. So inside the body of main function we have to call the printf function. So printf function is called as called function, and main function is called as caller function. Great. Next. So next type is based on recursion. Okay, so just note down that it is not in your syllabus, but then also based on recursion. That means what is recursion? Function calling itself. If main function calls itself in the body of main function, then it is called as recursive function. If factorial function call itself in the body of factorial itself, then it is called as recursive factorial function. Great. Let's see that on based on the recursion, functions are divided into recursive function. Second one is called as non-recursive functions. Great. So these are the different five types of functions based on some parameters. Okay. So as per our, we have seen all these: call by, value call by, these built-in and user defined, caller and called. Okay. As per the perspective change, same function becomes caller function, same function becomes call by value or call by reference. Okay. So we will see that. Hope you understand. Yes. Till this, any doubts? What are the different types of functions? Okay, we will see one by one with the suitable example. This is the conceptual part. Next type, that is called as, what are the different elements or parts of the function? Okay, what are the different elements or the parts of the function? So guys, every function, when we create our own user defined function or it is built in, then there are three different parts. How many parts are there for the function? Function having three different parts. First is called as the function declaration, or it is also called as function prototype. Great. Second, function call, and third part is called as the function definition. Okay, so these are the three different parts or the elements of a or of the function. Great. So which are that? Function declaration, which is also called as function prototype, function call, function definition. Okay, great. So we will see all these elements or the parts in the upcoming sessions. Okay, so let's first start with our new code, how to write the source code. So let's write hash include first stdio.h, that is header file, and this header file contains definitions of built-in functions like printf, scanf, getS, putS, etc. Okay, so let's take one example from our programming list. So I will show you programming list. So first, programs are based on standard function library. In that, implement a program to find length of the string using string length. Also, power function, how to use power function. So I will solve from that one. So how to calculate length of the string using string length function. Great. So open your dev C++, copy the program, make the comment line, paste it, implement a program to find length of the string using string length. Okay, so first write integer main function. So first, how to create the string. So strings are created by using character array. Suppose char name, give the subscript operator and pass the size. So this is called as array of characters. And what is the array of character? It is nothing but your string. Okay, so I will initialize the string statically first. For example, Amol. Okay, great. So I want to calculate the length of this string Amol. So string is always write in C language in double quotes. Okay. So how to calculate it? For that, we have to use the built-in function string length. So where is this function exist? This function is exist in the header file called as #include string.h header file. So first include this string.h header file, otherwise we cannot use string length function in our code. Now, guys, what is the prototype of how to call the string length function? So name itself string length, then pass the name of the string whose length we want to calculate. So name of the string is name itself, give semicolon. What it returns, this function returns integer value, so catch it into the variable length. Okay, so length is a variable of type integer, so int length we have to declare that variable. Now print printf and print length of string name is equal to percentage s. When you want to print, oh no, yes, we have to print the length, and length is in the form of integer, so format specifier is percentage d, and where that length is stored into length variable, so write length. Okay, semicolon, then write return 0. Great. So save this file into the C source type files and give the name as a string length 1 and save it. Okay, great. So now it's time to compile our source code. So there is no error, no warning. Then run it and check what is the output. So output is length of the string name is equal to 4. Great. Because there are only 4 characters in your string, so string length is 4. If I am specify Amol plus Suraj, so how many characters are there? 4. Then space is also 1 character, 5, and again 5 characters. So total, what is the length of the string? 10. So guys, let's check whether it gives the correct output or not. So run the program and check the output. The length of the string is equal to 10. Space is also considered as a character. Understood, guys? Yes. Any doubts? So I will explain it again. We'll see one-dimensional, two-dimensional array strings in the later on sessions. But here, for our program point of view, how to create a string or how to initialize a string. So this is called as string initialization. Okay. So this is string initialization. What is the name? String name. Name. This is the name of the string. This is length. Okay, which is of integer type. To store length of string. we have to use length variable. Great. Now call to the built-in function. String length is a built-in function, and where the string length function exists in the string.h header file. This is the library where string length function get exist. Definition is here in the string.h header file. So call to the string length function. When you use string length function, you have to include string.h header file in your program, guys. So string length, name. So what is the prototype? That is string length declaration. How to call the function? So name of the function, then write which strings length we want to calculate, its name, and then what it returns. This function returns integer value. So catch it into the integer variable length. So it calculates the length and return the value. So in this program, this length is 10. So value is 10. So 10 value is displayed instead of %d. Yes. Any doubts? And this string length function is called as what? Built-in function. Built-in or inbuilt function. Okay, which is already given in the string.h header file. We no need to write its definition, just call. This is called as function call also. This is called as function call. Function call, which is one of the part or the element of the function. Guys, hope you understand. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I will share this code. Okay. So let's move and check what are the different. This is a example of built-in function. Now we have to create our own user-defined function. Okay, based on return type and argument list. Great. So first we will see simple example and step by step. Okay, so take one new source code file, save it by using name function demo and click on the save button. Great. It's create function demo.c source code file. Yes. So take one example from our list and we have to implement that. So from the list, we will take any one example. So implement a program to find maximum among 3 integers number using a function. Okay. So use appropriate prototype for that. So we will see that. Before that, we will take one simple example, how to add two numbers. Okay. So hash include stdio.h header file, then int main also is a user defined function. So this is the main function. Now guys, we want to create what? Add function. Name of the function is add. What it takes two values, integer a comma integer b, and make the addition of these two numbers. So add is a new function. And what is the return type? So return type of the function is int. Suppose it returns the addition to the caller function. Now this structure is called as the third element of the function, that is called as the function definition. Okay, so this is the third part of the function called as the function definition. Then first part, that is called as function declaration or function prototype. So same line, this same line you have to write here. So give semicolon at the end of the statement. So this is called as function declaration. declaration or function prototype. Great. So this is the first element of the function, that is called as function declaration. Guys, what is our aim? We have to create a new function add, which is user defined function. This is user defined function. As per the user's requirement, we have to create it. So what user decide? User pass two values to the add function. What is the duty of add function? Add function make the addition of these two numbers and return the value to the caller function. So here in the main function, we want to call that add. So for that, we have to pass two values, two integer values. Okay, so 10 and 20, these are the two integer values. And what this function returns? It returns integer value. So catch it. So if any function returns integer value, catch it into, suppose, some variable. Sum is equal to. Okay, so this is called as second element of the function or part of the function, that is function call. So this is function declaration, guys, for this particular function. This is called as function call and this is called as function definition. So guys, this whole is called as function definition. Now write the definition or the body of the function. So in this curly bracket, we have to write the code body of the function. So how we can write? So what is the aim of this function? The aim of this function is to calculate addition of these two numbers. So how to calculate it? You can use any variable integer s for saving the values. S is equal to a plus b. So here 10 value is copied into a, 20 value is copied into b, and then in the integer s, a plus b, it gives you 30 in the s variable. Now we want to return it. So return, okay. So return, how to return the value? Using return statement return. And where is the addition of two numbers? In the s variable. So write return s. So this value s is returned to the main function. So here main function is what? It is user defined function. Yes, it is user defined. As well as it is a function caller function. Caller function, yes, it is a caller function also. Okay, similarly add function is what? Which type of function? First, user defined. Yes, it is a user defined function. Yes, and it is a called function. Called function, why it is called? Because main function called to the add function in its body. This is curly bracket indicates the body of main function. Similarly, this curly brackets indicates the body of add function. So we have three statement in the body of add function. Okay, so add function is a user defined function, called function, okay, as well as add function is also called as with argument and with return type, because add function having two argument in their argument list, yes, and one return type. So function with argument with return type. So these are different. So user, it is also user defined. It is called function. Yes, it is with argument and with return type. Yes, great. So same function having different types. Yes, based on some properties or some fields. Great. Now, so when we have to call this function, okay. So here print what is the addition of two numbers. So addition is equal to, where is addition? In the sum variable. So first write format specifier and then write name of the variable, that is sum, where actually addition is saved. Okay, or it is returned. So let's compile it. Oh, here was is error, sum undeclared. That means we cannot declare it, just declared the value of sum. Sum is equal to integer sum. So declared sum. Again compile it. There is no error, no warnings. Now go and run. Click on the run tab and check the addition. So addition is 30. Guys, so I will show you line by line debugging. So give toggle breakpoint to first number. Yes. Then debug. Okay, debugging gets started. Then add watch. So for some add watch. Then variable A, add watch, variable B, add watch. So here A and B are not in the main function scope, so these are not execute to evaluate because they are not executed, but some initialize to 0 first. When I click on the next line, okay, now here are two things. Next line, so it executes the sum and calculate the value of addition, that is 30, and when you click on the next line it is displayed value, that is addition is equal to 30 on your console. Okay, stop the execution. This is first way. Now again I will debug it. Start debugging, yes, and click on the into function. Means this function call is binded with this function definition. So cursor goes to from this location to the function definition, that is into function. So okay, so here a is equal to 10. Yes, this 10 value is copied into a. This 20 value is copied into b variable. So current value of a is 10, b is 20. Yes, here we have seen that. Now 10 plus 20, it becomes what? 30. So add watch for s also. Initially it is s is equal to 0. When you click into function and check the value of s, it becomes 30. Now return statement, return s means this s value, that 30 is returned and cached to which variable? Sum variable. So when you click on the into function, its return value is returned and sum becomes 30. Now print the sum. So when you click on the into function, so addition is displayed on the console and which is 30. Okay, great. Now stop the execution. Guys, any doubts in this function? This is a user defined function and I have created three different parts of this function. First part is called as function declaration, second part is called as function call, and third part is called as function definition. Any doubt till this? Yes, any doubts? So let's move to the next point. Okay, so I will first share the code with you all. Okay, so depending on the, these are called as the integer a and integer b. These are called as, I will give the comment line here, int a comma int b called as arguments or parameters. Okay, again these 10 and 20 are also called as arguments or parameters. Now arguments are of also two types. Here 10 and 20 are actual parameters. Okay. And here a and b are, these are also arguments, but a and b are called as formal parameters. Great. So A and B are parameters, but of type formal parameters. And here add in the when we call the add function, this 20 and 20 are called as actual parameters. Great. Now, based on this type, argument and return type, arguments and return type functions are divided into 4 different types. Okay, so these are the arguments first, then int. What is int here? Int. Here int. Which int? This int. Before add is called as int is called as return type. Okay, great. So what is the general syntax of the function? So general syntax of the functions are first return type, okay, the name of the function, okay, and inside that parameters. Yes, after parameters you can write curly brackets. Inside curly brackets you can write the body of function. Great. So I will give multi-line comment here, stars slash star star slash. Okay. So these are not executable lines. These are for our understanding basis. These are the comments only. So this is a general syntax of writing function definition. So what is the general syntax? Return type. You have to write return type here. Similarly, int as a return type. Then name of the function, add is the name of the function. Then parameters, int a and int b, these are the parameters, also called as formal parameters. Okay, and inside the curly brackets, this is syntax. Inside the curly bracket, you have to write the code for the add function. Okay, this is all about function definition. This is function call. Depending on the function prototype, this is a function prototype. Depending on that, we have know that add function, we have to pass 2 arguments of integer type, and what it returns the integer value. So catch it. So while calling the add function, pass 2 arguments, but after calling it returns the integer value again. So it is cached into the sum and write the things. So this function definition, okay, depends on the requirements and what are the understanding between the main function and add. Okay, so if I want to design add function where I want to add 2 integer values, okay, and display the addition inside the add function itself, don't return any value. If this function don't return any value, then make the changes void. If function does not return anything, then return type is void. Here don't return s, instead of that printf addition is equal to %d. You have to print this addition into same function add. So what is the aim of this function? Take the 2 values from the caller function and add it and display it on the console. Don't return anything. So what is the change in the function call? This is function definition. Okay, so same changes we have to reflect into function declaration as well as function call. So return type of the function is void. So write void here. Function does not catch any value because it does not return anything. So no need to catch into some variable. So remove that. Okay. Also main function does not return any value. It's duty of add function itself. Great. So output is same. Output of this program is same, but function which we have created, that is user defined function, whose type get changed. So now its function become function argument without return type. So this function is function with argument. So arguments are there, but no return type. Okay, so same function. Similarly, we can create another two types of functions based on return type and argument list. It depends what are the requirements for that particular function. Based on that, we have to create our own functions. So these are the user defined function. Hope you understand. Yes. Yes. So it's time for activity. So problem based learning, we have to take activity based on the problem. So problem based learning. So I will upload problem statement on the Moodle. Okay, and you have to solve it. So this is your discussion forum for PPS. Okay, this is the discussion forum. I will add new topic for discussion here. Okay, so implement a program to find maximum among the three numbers using user defined function. So user defined function. So you can take any prototype you have to take with argument, with return type, without argument, without return type, anything, but you have to solve using any one of them. Okay, so here is your program. You have to upload your answer here. So your time starts now. So timer for 15 minutes. Okay, so start your activity.